beautiful souls, it's Crystal Star back again with another truth video, and it's been brought to my attention recently that there's been lots of videos recently, commentary videos about several things that are going on in the internet, usually mainly about well-known people being exposed for being inappropriate with minors, and I'm putting that mildly, but you know what I'm talking about. And I just get a feeling this is kind of like a white hat op, because I get like a to-ing and fro-ing between this. There's a lot of stuff out there that's really talking about the right and the left, and really like anti-Trump, and slamming a lot of stuff that's been brought forward. And I wanted to know whether a lot of this stuff is really white hat op, black hat op. So I wanted to kind of have a look into that as well. The right wing and the left wing stuff is why I looked into the LGBTQIA plus, is it IA or AI plus war, which was my last video. But I wanted to look at the Duggar family. They've just been a documentary recently, Shiny Happy People. I don't know if you ever see it, 19 Children and Counting. They're on a TV show. And also Miranda Sings as well. And I've also been asked a question about Johnny Depp and Vanessa Paradis, whether they're together in secret. Now, I did do a reading on that before, and but I'll go into that when I do the reading. Also, if there's time, I do want to look into the Schumann resonance, because I know there's been a lot of stuff coming up about that recently. I've done stuff about that already in the past, although I don't think it's just a video on its own about that. But I have looked into that before, the Schumann resonance. So, really looking forward to this. Really excited about this reading. So, I've got my trusty cards. We're all ready. Let's get on with it. So I'm going to dive straight into this, looking at the Shiny Happy People documentary, which was about the Duggar family, who, if you don't know, they did a TLC programme. I think it's TLC programme called 19 Children and Counting, or something like that. They had 19 kids or something, and they're like, I said extremist Christians. I don't know whether you can count that as extremist Christians. I mean, they're not like killing people for the Christianity, but I don't know, it seems a bit extreme to me. But then who am I to judge? Everyone to their own, right? But so there's just been this documentary coming out about the Duggars. Now, what I want to know is it a white hat op? I don't believe this stuff's just coming out right now. I get that they've done like the big film stars, and they've done a lot of musicians as well, and obviously politicians as well. So I get there's a lot of stuff going on YouTube, but then, you know, how many people watch YouTube? It's like the biggest platform now, isn't it? So obviously it's going to be on there, isn't it? And so I think it absolutely is. Right, so I'll tell you about the Duggar family if you don't know. So they have this TV programme. The dad, the father of this family, is a politician. Well, that's a red flag right there, isn't it? You think, oh, well, okay. So they have these 19 children, and there's all sorts of stuff going on. I won't go too much into detail, but yeah. So there was this so they had the TV programme, then there was a documentary about the Shiny Happy People, and about the IBLP, and also about the eldest member of the eldest son, which was the eldest child, I think, whose name is Josh Duggar. It came out, it was on the, it looked like, on the documentary, it looked like it was on the news. that he'd been accused of acting inappropriately with his sisters and some other children as well. And from what they were saying, they were aged like between 5 and 11. I'm sorry if you can hear noise. It's been a running thing with me. The builders are back next door. Hopefully they'll be finished soon. Acting inappropriately with his sisters. What they were saying was he was touching them through their clothes, which to me doesn't make any difference. Inappropriate touching is inappropriate touching, right? Especially with your own sister. And it turned out the parents knew about this and the church knew about this. And basically did nothing. They sent him to this camp run by the IBLP, which apparently made him do loads of building work on this building they were renovating, and he was supposed to get counselling, but apparently he didn't. And they literally did nothing else at all. So he came back to his family, back in with his sisters, living with his sisters again, with no kind of retribution or anything. And then, so he got married, had his own kids. He's working on this, I think he owned this car lot or something, and he was caught with child porn on his computer. And I'm not saying like, if I say and the really, really bad stuff, I'm not saying that any child porn is not bad. Of course it all is bad, but there are levels, aren't there, of badness. And this was the really bad stuff, the stuff you would be expecting the Black Hats to do. And with the fact that he's a politician, this was just red flags for me. And we can see in here, this is absolutely a white hat op exposing this right now. So I'd say they are involved with, or involved with the making of this documentary, which has just brought it all to light again. He got this Duggar this time, this Josh Duggar, this oldest son, he got a prison sentence this time. I'm sorry if you already knew the story and I've just run through it again for you, but it absolutely is a white hat op here. I wonder whether they made a deal with this Josh, because at the end of the day, if they are all black hats and he would have grown up with this, as we all know, he would have grown up with this, he would have been kind of brought into this as a child. And I know even when they do these horrific things, and they do demand punishment for it or some kind of retribution, but when they're kind of born into it, they do kind of get the option here. So I would wonder whether this Josh Duggar has had some kind of option given to him here. Obviously it involves prison. I'm not seeing any kind of other punishment here. But it's not just prison, is it? It's the exposing of what he's been doing as well, and what's been going on, and how this has all worked. And I get at the end of the day that's more kind of important right now, is getting this information out there, because anybody who's watching any of this stuff surely must be thinking, well, Hollywood's at it, the music industry's at it, the politicians are at it, do you know what I mean? It's just like, and the YouTubers, well, this wasn't a YouTuber, but Miranda Sings is, which we'll be getting on to in a minute. I've just been told this is justice, bringing lessons from the past, using this to their advantage. So maybe it was more advantageous of them just to kind of bring this out like this. I think they're quite happy with the results as well. Quite happy with the results. They've got something else planned as well. I don't know whether this is leading on to something else, something bigger, maybe to do with Christianity and religion. Some of these groups here, exposing some of that. I just want to have a very quick look, before I move on to Miranda Sings, I just want to have a very quick look at I want to ask the question, that, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, the Duggars are 100% Black Hat. Everything screams to me, this is Black Hat. The religion, the guy who runs this cult, they've called it, it did look like a cult to me as well. He was been accused of, I think he's dead now, I don't know anyway, he was accused of inappropriate behaviour with minors as well. Let's have a look. Are the Duggars Black Hat? It's all very dark, isn't it? But as long as it's coming to light and people are seeing this and making note of this, are the Duggars. This is quite a complicated answer here. There's nothing in here to indicate that they are Black Hat. No, that's not quite right. They are not outright telling me that they are Black Hat. Yeah? I would wonder, especially with this and this, if this was a generational thing. This has been going on. It wasn't that they chose to become like this. It may have been that they themselves were brought up with this or were forced into this in some way. They may even at some point have tried to get out, but I feel that a lot of them were not happy. I was mainly focusing on the parents because obviously they're the ones that have brought these poor kids in, but then on that same token, what if they were brought up, and it looks like that to me. I don't think it's as clear cut as, oh, they got dragged into this or they chose to do this. What I'm seeing from this is this was set up for them from the start. So I would suggest that whatever it is that's true or not true about what we're told about their particular upbringings, they were somehow instigated into this when it was not their choice. Basically. Wow, okay, right. I wanted also to look at Miranda Sings. Now, Miranda Sings is the stage name of a lady called, I'll have to look because I can't remember, Colleen Ballinger, I think. She was called out on some serious stuff, the usual stuff, I guess. Inappropriate behaviour with a minor. There's loads of stuff out there describing all about it. With minors, not one, minors. But also, yeah, so apparently she was grooming her fans, who were all minors, and also her brother has been, apparently, now I don't know, this is just what I've heard, apparently her brother is, has been charged with inappropriate behaviour with minors. Like, as far as I know, he's like in jail for it. I can't promise that, that's just what I heard. But Miranda Sings is a YouTuber, and I remember watching Miranda Sings. She started off as a comedian, and she was actually quite funny. I kind of caught on to her when she was at the beginning of her career, I think, and then kind of didn't bother with her anymore. I'm not exactly a fan. I think she's the stuff is aimed more at children, which is the worrying thing. Not necessarily children, but underage people. So yeah, that's all come to light. And she did an apology video, which, from what I saw, was an apology, not apology type thing. Like, I'm sorry, like, you got upset over what I said. Do you know what I mean? It was like that. Like, I'm apologising, but I'm not really apologising. I want to know more about Miranda Sings. Was she a Black Hat? Because from what I've heard, she certainly was. I think the whole family are a bit dodgy. But that's just, like I said, that's just what I've heard. And obviously the brother is. So is she black? The question I'm asking is she a black hat? And is this a white hat op? And anything you can tell us more about Miranda Sings. Or Colleen Ballinger, I think her name is. Another strange answer. Once again, it is the family. Sorry, they've just whispered to me. It is the family. It's the same thing that we saw before. This is a generational thing. There's the white hats again. This is a white hat op. Absolutely exposing what's been going on. What's up with her. I don't think she's going to be handled as generously as Josh is, though. I certainly get they're very happy. The white hats are very happy about the results they've got here, and in terms of exposure of what's been going on, I do get exposing these YouTubers is quite important. Obviously, I imagine in terms of consumption, YouTube is the biggest point of contact for the largest number of the population that there possibly is, and I get that it's a huge black hat, or whether it was set up originally, as some people suggest, as a black hat op. I probably would think it was, because it just seems too planned, and there does seem to be a lot of YouTubers who are very, let's just say, anti-Trump, and they are very much slamming him and people on the I can't remember whether it's right or left, you know what I mean, conservatives. And I'm not saying I come down on any particular side of the political scale. We know that the right and the left are both fake. It's just different puppets. That's all. The same person is always in, the same people are always in control. Well, hopefully not anymore. But there seems to be a lot of people who, a lot of YouTubers who are very vocal about the pandemic being real, the jabs being necessary, listening to people in authority. And that's why I did my last video, the LGBTQIA plus video, because that's very much where a lot of, particularly the trans issue, is where there's a lot of battling going on, I get, with the black hats and the white hats. And that's why I did the video. But yeah, absolutely, this is a white hat op. I don't think she's going to be handled as delicately as Josh Duggar is going to be. And the outcome is definitely another step in the right direction here of exposing these people. I guess people just have to kind of like connect the dots now. Why are so many famous people interested in minors in this way? You know? Joining the dots. But definitely a white hat op, as far as I'm concerned. Moving us from one phase to the next phase. I think I got recently as well the 100th monkey as well. I think as far as the white hats are concerned, the 100th monkey has been passed now, so it's just a case of the rest of the population kind of catching on to that. Now, the 100th monkey, if you don't know, is it's this thing when so many people think a certain way that the rest of the population will kind of fall into that thinking as well. I've done stuff on the 100th monkey before. You can look it up on the internet if you want to know more about that. Right, so Johnny Depp and Vanessa Paradis. Now, let's have a look. Are they seeing each other in secret? Ah, This is something to do with the operation. This is something to do with the White Hat operation. Now, isn't that interesting? Because I did a video a while ago when I was asked to look into Johnny Depp and Vanessa Paradis. And what I said then was, it didn't look to me, but I don't think I expressed myself very clearly, because I got a comment saying, it's false, they're not going to get back together. But what I actually said was, I don't think they're going to get back together, but I perhaps put it too delicately. What I think I said at the time was, I don't see that they're going to be connecting anytime soon, but I can't rule out that possibility. What that means in clear, plain language was, neither of them were interested, or are interested, we'll see in a minute, in getting back together at that particular point. But nobody can say what's going to happen in the future. Never say never, as someone I know used to say. But there wasn't any sign of that in the reading. So let's have a look. We'll put Johnny Depp this side and Vanessa Paradis on this side. Is there any chance of these two getting... Oh no, sorry, that wasn't the question I was asked. The question I asked was, are they together in secret? Are they together in secret? Now, I know his daughter recently has just done that film, hasn't she? I can't think what it was called. The Idol, was it? There was a lot of videos coming out about that as well, saying all sorts of things. Not about her. Everybody said she was a really nice person. She was a great actress. I've not seen it, by the way. I've not seen that film. I would suggest to you that if there is anything in the news or anything that's been said about this, it's a White Hat operation. Yeah, I believe from this, Johnny Depp is wading in to help support the awakening effort and the truther movement, and he's actually helping. Now, I've not seen anything about Johnny Depp recently, or Vanessa Paradis, or both of them together. I've not seen anything about them at all. But I know they're still very much in people's hearts and people's minds. Well, Johnny Depp is obviously after what happened. And to be fair, I've not even seen anything about, what's his ex's name? Heard, that's it. Amber Heard, wasn't it? Now, he's heavily involved in some kind of work he's doing because of the popularity he gained through that court case. Now, if he's been seen with Vanessa Paradis, or there's some rumours going around, it's because of that, because that's the question that we asked. They seem to be answering a different question, but they're not. They're saying that in answer to the question, are they seeing each other in secret? This is about a White Hat op and turning things round for us. I get that Vanessa's on board with this and she's quite happy to be involved with this. So if you've heard of any rumours or anything going on between these two, let me know, because I've not seen or heard anything at all. But then I'm not really kind of following it diligently, perhaps as I should. There's a lot of love between these two people. Now, when I'm saying love, I'm not talking about romantic love, but there's a lot of care and consideration and positive thought energy between these two people. If they're seeing each other in secret, it's not because of a romance. There's nothing here to suggest romance, but once again, never say never, as I was told. Never say never. You can never rule anything out. But there's nothing... I want to be clear, because clearly I wasn't clear last time. There's nothing here to suggest that that will happen. But on the other hand, there's nothing to suggest that it couldn't happen either. Yeah, but I'm erring on the side of not likely to happen with these cards here. Now finally, I want a quick look at the Schumann resonance as well. I know these videos that I do are a bit kind of bits and bobs, like putting things together, do you know what I mean? Doing lots and lots of different readings on lots of different things. It's because all these things come together and I want to look at them, and it's so exciting to kind of have a look overall view of all these things. But I do want to have a look at the Schumann resonance as well. I have seen there's some videos out there about this. I've not watched them, so I don't know what anybody else is saying. But I have been getting, as the push has been moving forward towards awakening, alignment and ascension, not just for me, for everybody. I've heard lots of people discussing this. I've been getting a lot of, when I go to bed at night, a lot of restless leg syndrome, apart from other stuff as well. And I do know this is because the Earth's energy was turned down just shortly after Atlantis, to stop the let's just call them black hats, shall we, misusing that energy. And I know that I can't remember when the energy was turned back on. I did a video with it in I'd say within the last year or 2 years, the energy's been turned back on. The Earth's energy's been turned back on, so it's been a lot higher, which is particularly as we're passing through the I really genuinely can't think what it's called now. I'll write it in. We're passing through that belt. I can't think what it's called. I'll write it on the video. So obviously the energies are going to be being raised, particularly as more and more people get more and more ascended and more awake, not just to what's going on in the world, but obviously spiritually as well. I've just had angelic beings as well are coming in. I don't know what that's got to do with the Schumann resonance. Oh, they're helping the Earth. They're helping the Earth because obviously Gaia's an entity on her own, and she has to be reawoken because obviously she's had to reach the levels of energy that we did. So yes, she's having her energy raised. I'm getting from this that yes, it is spiking quite a lot as she's moving into that higher energy. We've got 2 higher energy cards here. Certainly as she's moving into that higher energy, moving into that love energy. It's not going to drastically shift in any way. She's got to move slowly so that as many people as possible can catch up. If we move too quickly, a lot of people are not going to be able to reach that as quickly as they need to. I wonder if there's going to be a bit of a push lately. I know we've been pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed, but I'm seeing a step up is what they're kind of showing there. There's going to kind of be a step up. So it may be, I've been finding this a lot recently actually. It's been a lot of, it's like been a push forward and then a wait and a push forward. And I know that's the way the spirit normally works, especially when you're ascending. But I get that the world is going to be coming to a step up. Because this indicates to me, when we get the new information, obviously it can feel overwhelming because we have to shift our perceptions and our energy quite exceptionally, and it can take a while for us to kind of catch up emotionally and energetically. And that's what I think it's going to be a step. But don't worry about this. This is, if you're on a spiritual path, you have done this 1,000 times anyway, in terms of, oh, well, this is the next step and we need you to take that step. and it can feel a bit overwhelming, but once you've kind of processed it, which is all you can really do, isn't it? But I mean, if you are having trouble with this, I'm just about to open my Ascension, Awakening and Alignment bundle on my membership site, on my website. I'm so excited about it. The introduction's ready to go. I'm just about to do the next bundle, which is about I can't say, it's a Japanese word, kaizen or kaizen, or I can't say it anyway. And it's one of the most important steps, as far as I'm concerned, the most important pieces of information you can have about alignment, awakening, ascension, and that's about habit and persistence, and how to bring these changes into your life, and kind of deal with these processes. It's one of the most important things I've ever found about awakening anyway. But I think that's it. Thank you so much for joining me. I had really great fun. I'm so glad you joined me in my little bubble of light. I'm sending you lots and lots and lots of love and light, and wishing you all the very, very best in your awakening and ascension process, and awakening the world. Please do let me know if there's anything that you want me to look at that's going on in the world. I'm always grateful for any comments, and also any likes, shares and subscribe. Thank you so much for joining me. Hope to see you in the next one. Bye.